So, hello everyone. Welcome to the talk show with the TV Rao. And this program is all about future of work. And when we started thinking about releasing future of work series in association with the global HR community we call GHRC and Visara, I want the first interview or the speaker to be TV Rao. The reason is, one, I want his blessing for this program, and there will be a series of such interviews and podcasts we'll be doing. Second one is, no one else can explain how the HR has evolved over the last several decades, from labor welfare officer to personal department to HRD, to today the strategic role HR plays in the board. So Mr. TV Rao has seen this evolution in last 4 decades. So I thought it's best to start this program with Mr. TV Rao. Again, TV Rao does not require any introduction, and he is considered as the father of modern HRD in India. He also done a lot of innovative thought process in HRD, whether it's succession planning, leadership assessment, OD, and several other interventions he has done it. And also he has advised the L&T for several years to transform their personal department to HRD department, and done phenomenal activities around leadership development. And he also written many books, and now he is a chairman of the TV Rao Learning Academy, where I met him a few minutes back. I went to receive him. So again, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you,
very
sir.
very blessed and privileged to have you with us today.
Thank you.
So as we discussed, sir, when we started preparing for this session, the future of work has evolved over the last several years. I first started discussing future of work in various conferences and seminars soon after the COVID. The COVID has really transformed the workplace.
Yeah.
People started working remotely, working from home, and the entire belief that people has to come to office and work in the same roof has been challenged with alternative working arrangement, what the COVID has accelerated. So that's the first wave I started talking about future of work is changing.
Yes. Yeah.
The work is changing, the workplace is changing, the definition of worker is changing with the freelancers coming in, and the ways of work is changing. Earlier, everything in one room.
Right.
Today, they are distributed, they are virtual.
Yes.
The second future of work importance came after AI disrupted the workload.
Yes.
Today, every workload, whether it's software engineer, HR manager, finance controller, even the CEO, the workload is disrupted by AI.
Yeah.
So that is the significance of future of work today. And Visara, in partnership with the global HR community, want to do a lot of research in the next several months on future of work, and we want to write white papers. We written few in the last week.
Okay.
We are also publishing Mantrika Way, a book on future of work and how AI can be implemented in HR.
Yeah.
Then we want to do a lot of podcasts, as I mentioned.
Wonderful.
With the leaders, business leaders, CHROs, faculties and students on future of work. So this is a first series, as I mentioned.
Very good.
We are starting with you. So welcome again, sir.
Thank you, Sri.
Yeah. So the first question is, sir, you have seen the evolution of HR, right from welfare functions to personal department to NHRD network you created, how the HRD become. Now we are talking about future of work. Can you throw some light on what you have seen these changes and what triggered these changes and what it has given to the HR domain?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Sri, thank you very much for inviting me to have a chat with you. It's always a pleasure to meet you and discuss anything with you. If I have to talk anything about future of work, I think you are a great example of how work should be and how HR gets transformed to be entrepreneurial. And to be entrepreneurial not in one business, but so many things to be done. I think you are doing marvelous job. You are into technology, you are into HR, you are into recruitment, you are into all kinds of things. And I think the most important thing is you are constantly learning and looking for opportunity to learn. So you are very right in terms of for the transformation. I think in the last 5 6 years, we have seen sea change in the transformation. Since you asked me to talk about how HR has evolved, I don't really know if it is of any consequence today because I think for most people, present is more important than the past.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we are all children of the yesteryears. We carry with us. Particularly today, under one roof, if 4 to 5 generations of people are working, it is important for the younger generation to understand the mindset that the older generation carries. That is where the HR, the way it was evolved, and you have rightly said, in the olden days, in 50s and 60s, there was no term HR. There was only establishment section in government offices, and in some private sector there were labor welfare officers. Because it was considered that if you take care of the welfare of employees, they will take care of your company.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It has certain amount of feudalistic orientation, but still it is good that at least you took care of welfare. Then came the personnel department, which maintained records, which maintained appraisals, which maintained the quality of life in terms of making sure you have your perks and salaries and performance appraisal, training, other things are taken care of. Then we examined people, and then that is when L&T, we all came to work at performance appraisal. L&T had a very interesting system of performance appraisal, but they were not at the time happy with that. They wanted Uday Parikh and me to examine. I'm not a HR guy actually. I started as a mathematics, physics, chemistry student, then went on to do my education in regional college, Mysore, 1965. Then did my psychology. So my basic orientation was more of, I learned a lot about psychology, industrial psychology and other kind of thing. Then worked on educational social psychology, how medical colleges spoil medical students. That's what I say. So when we examined L&T performance appraisal, we found what will make employees give their best to the company, and we found three things are important. If an employee has to give his best, he should be clear about the job, and therefore role clarity should be there. And number two, he should have the capabilities to do the job. And number three, he should be happy to do the job. So we said development is equal to competence, commitment, and culture. It took a long time for people to sink in because the personal department is a power department. It makes you very powerful because you decide the salary structure, you decide performance appraisals, maintain a lot of data. Data are power in those days. But power of this kind doesn't help you to build people to help the company to grow. That's where we came up with the HRD. So came 80s and came liberalization 90s. Post liberalization, we went on to look at, suddenly India was thrown into global competitive world. You have to compete with the best of the people. 92, 93, I still remember that if somebody was able to do a job with 3,000 people in India, they discovered the same job can be done with 300 people in Germany or in some of the other countries. And a few years later, the 300 came to 30. So companies started looking at how do we build capabilities. So productivity, quality, capability, that was all important. I think everything was thrown out of the wind post COVID. Family became important, health became important.
Absolutely.
People became individualistic. For 2 years, people have experienced that sitting at home, they manage their entire affair. You sweep your floor, you cook your own food, you don't go out. If you go out, you wear your masks, you stand in a queue, you have to be disciplined. So those 2 years of COVID time has set in a totally changed the mindset of people that you only need a little to manage. But what is important is to stay alive. You have to stay alive, stay happy, stay healthy. Then you can do a whole lot of things.
Absolutely.
So salaries and other kind of things became a little secondary. Happiness, healthy, other things became very important. Then came now what you have talked of the AI technology. Technology has further thrown everything into, because now we are seeing that all repetitive jobs can be taken over by with AI applications. You don't need people. Big companies are getting rid of people because you know that routine jobs can be
Absolutely.
absolutely. So here HR, what is HR? Now HR has two or three more important tasks. The big change in HR is, so far we used to say HR is the job of HR department. Now today I say HR is not the job of HR department. HR is the job of everyone. You take care of your own growth and development. If you have to take care, you have to constantly grow, and you have to look for opportunities. So what we were discussing as we were coming here, upskilling yourself has become very important. So HR job is not only to provide skills through training programs, but get people to develop a mindset where they can themselves look for opportunity for upskilling.
Absolutely.
You don't say that I'll wait for HRD department to sponsor me for a program. Those days are gone. Sorry, you have to keep searching. You have to keep looking for what are the opportunities available for you. How do you upskill yourself? What competencies do I have? I mean, that is the so HR job therefore becomes a little more complicated because they have to look for talent all the time. They have to develop talent all the time. They have to look for opportunity to develop the talent. So many things. It is not anymore the old textbook HR. It's a totally open world. That's why I said you are a great example because your mind is all the time on opportunities. HR has to be opportunities. How do I convert these opportunities into maybe a wealth, maybe wealth for a team, for a group, for an organization, and things like that. So HR is, in fact, I keep saying that HR should be thinking ahead of the CEOs. In fact, sometimes I said, if you have a good HR, that is the next CEO.
Absolutely.
That's what I think. I can go on being a
And
professor. I can. You'll have to stop me.
no, I think always pleasure to listen to your storytelling style. And I never seen a person who can talk about evolution of HR, right from welfare officer to AI. Thank you very much for that. I think two things reminds me. I always, whenever I take a CHR role in my previous company, the first day itself, I address my employees,
Yes.
HR staff. I'll ask them three questions, which you beautifully summarized.
Yes.
The first one, ask them, what is the business of HR?
Yeah.
Then we come to the conclusion, business of HR is business. Whatever you do in HR, employee lifecycle management has to
Yes.
touch the business,
Yeah.
revenue,
Absolutely.
EBITDA, customer experience, like that. The second one is whose business is HR? You beautifully articulate, it's everybody's business. You cannot insource HR to HR department, the people manager, the employee, everybody has to take equal responsibility. Then the last question I ask, in terms of is incremental change in HR is enough or it require exponential change? I think HR function require exponential change. With the future of work coming and AI, the HR function is going to be transformed, not incremental, not linear, but exponentially. So we'll talk about it next a few minutes.
Yeah.
So that's the first question. Thanks for really summarizing it beautifully.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. So moving into the second question, sir. When I studied HR as part of my MSW course, I did my MSW, not an MBA, specialized in HR. So we used to ask a question whether HR is an art or a science. That was the first session I remember my professor taught us.
Yeah.
Then we come to the conclusion it's both.
Yes.
Then the question came, if it's science, does HR have pure body of knowledge like physics, chemistry, or maths, or HR come from applied science or arts like psychology, sociology, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
you're a psychology person more than an HR, but you could do very well in HR because you applied psychology in
Yes,
HR,
absolutely.
organizational behavior, or anthropology, statistics, and everything. Then a lot of people thought HR is a common sense because there's no pure science or a scientific way of doing HR. For example, if you look at recruitment, mushroom number of recruitment agency came, and there was a stage there, we call mom and pop show. I'm not diluting moms and pops role, but anybody could do recruitment agency or recruitment company or recruitment role. Today, right from recruitment to entire life cycle of HR is a science. It have pure knowledge base, empirical evidences, and scientific tools are applied. So we moved from applied sciences, from common sense to pure science with a lot of research and empirical evidence are happening. And you yourself has contributed to the body of HRD through a lot of research and white papers and articles and seminars and conferences. So I strongly believe today HR is a pure science. Recruitment itself is today scientific, with AI coming in and data science coming in. I just want to know your thoughts on this side.
Well, first of all, 50 years ago, I wrote an article on role set based assessment center approach to personnel selection. 50 years back. It's science.
Yeah.
How do you select objectively a set of employees? So to select a set of employees, you must identify the job, you must identify competencies. For some people today, it might sound commonsensical, but it is scientific. And if you don't do it, then what happens? You end up getting the wrong people and so on. Today, 50 years later, very recently, there was a program held at University of South Carolina by Dave Ulrich, who belongs to Michigan University, with a group of professors from across the world, with 27 CHROs from across the globe, addressing a group of people whom he was preparing as global HR leaders. The title is Global Leadership Experience. That's it. Unfortunately, with all our effort, we could send only one person from India, but there were a large number of other people. Now, why I'm coming to this is I happen to be one of the speakers. I always wondered, why did Dave Ulrich, somebody like him who has almost about 40 years of research-based Michigan professor, practically worshipped, called as father of modern HR across the globe and things like that, invite me to be a speaker. He said, TV, I'm very impressed with one thing which you are saying. I strongly believe in it, and that is the role of HR. In the past, HR was a employee champion. I kept saying it was supposed to be employee champion, but it really was employer champion. It never cared about employees for many years.
Yeah.
They cared about employers because personal management is nothing but employer champion. Today we are saying, if you are only an employer champion, people will stop quitting your company. You won't get, you will have talent. Attrition is very high. People will not give their best. You have got to be employee champion. There can't be another period than COVID which has demonstrated. It's not enough for you to be employee champion. In the past, employee champion means take care of salaries, have good recruitment, have good training. But COVID has shown, no, you should take care of his health. Take care that he should care for his own personal health, hygiene and so on. And not only that, take care of his family. Because if the family is not providing the right kind of atmosphere, what kind of an employee will have? And not only that, take care of the community where he or she is living, because if there are a lot of mosquitoes there, or if there is COVID is spreading there, how can he? And take care of infrastructure so that he can work from home. He doesn't have to. So you see, HR's role has extended from employee champion, employer champion actually, to employee champion, to family health provider, community health provider, and now we have a new thing that is also help the society, CSR, corporate social responsibility. If the society is not prospering, all that you may do is not going to. So HR's role after all of this has also become stakeholder manager.
Yeah.
You have to also, because stakeholders say, I've invested so much, what am I getting in from? See the complexity of HR. So people in HR doesn't mean employees only, employees, employers, owners, investors, community, and on the top of all of it, customers. If you say, I don't know the customer, sorry, you can't be a good HR manager. See change in HR.
Absolutely.
Today, HR job is very complex. Now, if you have to handle a complex job, is it an art? Well, somebody, a great entrepreneur like you, it may be an art, but even this art you have acquired out of 35, 40 years of experience.
Absolutely.
It is experience which made the science, your observation, the way you are spotting opportunities, the way you are talking about. So all whatever becomes intuitive at one point of time is based on science.
Excellent.
HR today is fairly scientific, highly scientific, but you can't therefore say I will use only textbook principles. In one company, you have to focus on the community, another company on the customers, a third company on the investors, and a fourth company on all of them simultaneously, a fifth company on the board of management, and things like that. So HR is depending on the kind of organization you are working for, is very much a science, is complex, multidimensional, and your first question that it can't think small, it has to think big.
Absolutely.
It has to think big. That kind of HR people, very difficult to find nowadays.
Yeah.
Very difficult. But at the same time, we don't give up. Therefore, we have to build lots and lots of HR people who can think in a big way. And as I mentioned, I think they should think even ahead of the CEOs.
Absolutely.
I don't know, does it make sense?
Absolutely. Beautifully articulated the role of HR. It's not only managing employees or managing business,
Yes.
managing family, managing community.
Everyone,
and
yeah.
the impact you can create to the entire ecosystem and the stakeholder is absolutely phenomenal. Sir, thank you very much. So coming...
I'll give you one example.
Sure.
Look at our Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I think if you ask me, he is the best HRD manager. During COVID time, you look at the number of things he started doing. He focused attention. And look at his, I think, whatever, Man Ki Baat, whatever he is trying to do. So if you really look at the success behind India as a country, whatever impact we have made, there are always positives and negatives. No country can claim they are Vishwaguru, whatever we may say. But I think we have made a hell of a lot of difference. So to me, what is happening in the country at that level is a great example of how a CEO should think, of a country should think like a HR manager. All the large part of what he is doing is HR.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is the example I can draw.
You're right. The component of HR, every role have big component of HR.
Yes.
And those who understand that component, whether it's Prime Minister or a CEO or a welfare officer, whatever it may be, they understand that component and you can create exponential value.
Yeah.
Because most of the components of HR is intangible, not tangible. Like culture, leadership,
Absolutely.
The role definition, everything is intangible. If the A coming in, we'll talk about it. It's much easier than convert these intangible assets into tangible assets and make a exponential impact.
Only one comment, Sri, I may have. I don't want to say that I would have a final word on this. What is intangible today may become tangible tomorrow.
Yeah.
Culture it still continues to be at some level intangible. But I think it is a very tangible kind of a thing because today many companies who have succeeded well are talking of the kind of culture they have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You well said. That's exactly what I meant. Today, culture is intangible. I happened to read an excellent article written on a model called circumflex model.
Yes.
It's like a circle. It have 12 slices of pizza cut like that, and each have component. So that white paper shows that the intangible culture have tangible impact on business. That's the title.
Absolutely correct.
It was presented in Orlando conference.
Yeah.
And they shows, and there is no good and bad culture, you know better than anybody. It's only impactful or less impactful culture.
Yeah.
So there's a research shows as the culture moves more impactful, the business grows exponential. So there are science established relationship with culture and business growth.
Absolutely.
And also the same article shows correlation of culture to the health of the leaders.
Yes.
For example, certain culture, you get ulcer because you're not able to express in that culture as a leader.
Yes.
You contain all your emotions and feeling inside and leads to ulcer. Certain aggressive culture, the leaders get heart attack. Because the leaders are very aggressive, they find it very difficult and very stressful life.
Yeah.
And in that circumflex model, one dimension of culture they call humanistically encouraging. That culture, leaders are healthy and happier.
Yeah.
So it's not only in the financial impact of the business culture, it also plays on the health of the employees and leaders. That research is fantastic, as you rightly said.
Yeah.
So coming back into the future of work, sir, when we started debating in my previous organization, we look at future of work from multiple dimension, few W's. The first one, we thought the concept or definition of work is changing. As I mentioned, AI disrupting the workload. Today, look at the job description of a software engineer,
Yeah.
and 2 years, the workload has changed. The definition of work has changed phenomenally, and the definition of worker is changing. Today, a robot or an agentic AI is considered as a worker replacing you, and you have to work closely with this agentic AIs or robots. So the definition of worker is also changing. Apart from that, we have seen the freelancers, the remote workers. All this group is coming. It's
Absolutely.
absolutely a lot of change. Third
Correct.
one is ways of work is changing. Today, we are working from remotely, and the entire work is getting reorganized and organized using skill taxonomies and ontology and everything. So the ways of work is changing,
Yes.
getting more and more virtual, more and more global, and more also global is integrated. So ways of work is changing. The next one is the definition of workplace also changing.
Absolutely.
We have seen it with
Yes,
the workplace revolution.
Yeah.
The last one is the concept of work-life balance also changing. We call work-life integration.
Yes.
In 24 hours in a day and 7 days in a week,
Yeah.
not that earlier 9 to 5 is work and 5 to 9 is life. But today it's not. In 24 hours, it's left to you. You decide how
Absolutely,
you want to
right.
really prioritize. You can work all the 24 hours, or you can take a different approach. So in this many W's we discussed, from your experience, how do you see this workplace, worker, and ways of work and work-life balance is changing from, you have observed this very closely. I've seen your work on role definition, competency model, competency assessment and everything. So just can you throw some light on how you're seeing this evolution happening with AI and future of work?
Yeah. Number one, I am entirely in agreement with you
Yeah.
about the changes that are taking place.
Yeah.
Everything is changing.
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard of the criticism when somebody said there should be a 70-hour work week.
Yeah.
And later, another industrialist said 90-hour work week.
Yeah.
And my response to that was that why do you limit work by hours? You
Yeah.
should have said
But-
7 multiplied by 24 hours,
yeah.
168-hour work
Absolutely.
that you are doing. I said everything I am doing is work. When I sleep, I am sleeping so that next morning I am fresh. I should have a good sleep so that I can give 100% when whatever I am doing. I am eating food so that I can give 100%. So if you look at this way, everything that we do is work. I mean, it's funny. Why do people forget what Mahatma Gandhi said? Work is worship. Everything that you are doing is work. That is one perspective.
Absolutely.
And if you start enjoying your work, you don't count hours. You don't count hours. When if I have to give a talk, I'm thinking about it all the time. Okay, I mean, I don't care what food I'm eating. I'm just eating it as mechanical. My wife keeps asking me, "How do you like the curry?" I said, "Yeah, very good." It's a standard response I give. But my mind is somewhere about. I'm thinking because that is the way work is. If you are passionate about something,
Yeah.
so there is no distinction between work and life.
Yeah.
That is what is integration.
Yeah.
But interestingly, those of us who belong to the older generation lived like that. I think it is some of the people in younger generation, they are now counting hours. I spend so much time, I need to pay this much. I think that is what brings you misery. That
Absolutely.
means you are not enjoying work. You are not able to define. Now that is where the scientific part comes into picture. Okay, you are given a role. You have 8 hours to work. How do you give your best in those 8 hours? That's where concepts of role efficacy. So those conceptual background, I'll still go to people and say, get the best out of your role. When you get the best out of your role, you are getting best of health,
Absolutely.
you are getting contributing, and you are upskilling yourself, and you are building your own future. The moment you see work as life,
Yeah.
I think you are totally in a different kind of thing. But having said that, I don't want to rule out that there are a set of people who are counting hours. Well, I think I would want to tell them. So if you are counting hours, if you are dividing your life so much, let us redefine your workplace. You want to work for X number of hours for one company and get compensated for it? Okay, that is where your skill base becomes very important. It is your skill which will give you those for 3 hours of work that you are doing, whatever you deserve. So there is no alternative for skilling. There is phenomenal amount. You can have 3 to 4 skills and work for 4 companies in a day. There is somebody who, in fact, the other day I met. He's a consultant, HR consultant. He's working with 6 different companies, 6 different things with one company, recruitment, other kind of. Oh, you are most welcome to do it. This is the way you define. But remember, the more and more you divide your life into these compartments, the more and more you have to be in tune with the outside world and skill yourself.
Absolutely.
You can't have unlimited skills, but you can have certainly 2 or 3 skills and then say, this is what I want to do. The work is going to be totally different. I think today entrepreneurship is increasing phenomenally. It is like, I think in the olden days, somebody supplied papad for everyone sitting from home. A group of them became a papad manufacturer. It is available now. Today, everyone can be a papad manufacturer. It is possible to have
Absolutely.
that. That is what. So everyone can be a HR manager. You can start your. I mean, there are many innovative kind of things. So work is going to be changing its nature, and it is difficult to conclude there is one way of doing it. We still have. Suppose you are a manufacturing company, I would still say some of the concepts that we have had. Make sure there is good work-life balance.
Yeah.
Make sure that people are skilled. Make
Yeah.
sure that you perform certain kind of things. That is entirely up to them, because you can't totally do away with
Absolutely.
manufacturing. If you are in an IT company, work in cloud. Maybe you are somewhere in US and working for somebody in India, or India working for somebody in US, and then virtual teams, all kinds of things. So I think it is very unpredictable. Future is going to be of those who are constantly looking for opportunity to upskill themselves, create a market for themselves, and make this marketplace available. Now, under these circumstances, it is difficult to predict how organizations are going to shape and so on. I think we'll have to wait for it. But here, AI may have a role, both positive role and a negative role. Positive role is it has a phenomenal capability to collect all the skill bases of people and make it available in the marketplace. Anybody who wants can go to a AI service provider and say, I want this skill and I only want for 3 hours. Can you supply? This is what I'm going to pay. And that is the power of AI. AI is going to change that. So many companies will start using it. Probably the modern organization that existed till I think a few years back will cease to exist, and there are only contractual kind of things that are happening, because that is already happening, no?
Yeah.
If some of the IT companies are getting rid of so many people, I mean, I can imagine a big company only operating with 200 people across the globe. It's possible. That is the AI revolution and minting billions of money,
Yeah.
maybe trillions and so on. It's possible. It's very difficult to predict what is going to be the future, but mindset has to change. We have to be flexible. We should be prepared to work from anywhere. And I think today, if you look at people, they are willing to work from anywhere. I mean, you don't have to. Organizations will have therefore change their mindset. People will have to. A lot of flexibility will come into picture. This is what I think.
Absolutely, sir. It's beautifully narrated.
Yeah.
With your permission, if what I believe in this area, the work and life is like a flywheel.
Yeah.
Like one half of the flywheel is work and another life. And life we need to give energy to the work, and work need to give energy to the
Yes.
life. And if it can give energy, then the wheel start rotating.
Absolutely.
And the more we call revolution per minute RPM of the wheel increases, you are productive, you are happier, and you are healthier. So one of the biggest challenge is for many leaders I have seen the wheel is not rotating, get stuck. They are not get energy from work or not getting energy from life. Those who can get energy from both and provide energy to each other, the wheel start rotating, the life wheel start rotating, and it become more fun and it's highly
Beautiful.
productive.
You have beautifully put it.
Yeah.
I'm entirely with you on this.
Yeah. The second concept on what you have seen in this place, what I have done
Yeah.
is in terms of, I feel we have to build work and life portfolios.
Yeah.
Portfolio, taking from wealth management, you put your money in equity, you put in structured notes, and you put in gold, land to de-risk your investment. That's one way of looking at. But I taken this concept from one of the Harvard article.
Okay.
Building your life and career portfolio is telling, if you are highly energetic and you are ready to really do best in your life and career, you can build a portfolio. Now, for example, when I joined after MSW in HR, my aspiration was CHR, which I could do it.
Yeah.
But I did not settle. I started applying what I learned into other adjacencies. I was CIO, I was a CEO. So I could diversify some of the skills and my passion into that. Then also build like farmhouses, antique shops, restaurant,
Yes.
everything. So I do a one-day program on how do you manage your life and career portfolio. So that's again going back into once provide energy to other, not to
Absolutely. Yes.
risk investment, but basically how do you get full life of yourself is a very interesting concept. Absolutely. Thank you very much for highlighting it. So next one, moving into the AI, as you mentioned, AI. If you look at, I happen to read Claudio Fernando's book called The Great People Decisions. It's one of the
Yeah.
prescription book in Harvard for
Yeah.
HR.
Yeah.
So he introduced the concept of people decisions are very important for any organization, and these people decisions are tough and difficult,
Yes.
and how to master it. These are three things he spoke in that book. So I got very inspired with that book. With AI coming in, if you really look at the CHRO or the people managers, the biggest value they bring to the organization on their people decision science.
Right.
Whom to hire, whom to fire, when to fire, whom to promote, who should be successor for who should be assigned on a special projects. All this people decision is what a good people manager and HR leader takes it. And all these days, most of the people decisions are intuition based. I interview a candidate for half an hour. My intuition says is good or bad. I reject or select. But today's the intuition has to be replaced with information or insight.
Yeah.
AI can decode the decision science and algorithm, check for biases, and the algorithm get matured as it learns the decision science. But we don't learn as HR people.
Yes.
The decision we took
Yeah.
it bad, we don't agree with that, we'll stick to that.
Yeah.
As a result, we don't learn because that algorithmic decision was wrong. But AI coming in, it's going to accelerate the decision science in HR from insight to, sorry, intuition to insight. Of course, one can argue that AI cannot take all the HR decision. It requires human in the loop, or the final decision has to be by human. So, from your experience, how do you see this intuition to insight? How AI can transform the decision science of people managers?
Yeah. First of all, I think AI, whatever little I understand, I'm not an expert in AI. I'm
Yeah,
still learning. In fact, I think most of us are. You find so many good things happening, and you are
yeah,
quite often amazed.
yeah,
Simple thing, I would assume, is AI application. I want to go to Ahmedabad and search for the best flight that is available, and I decide not to go. For the next 1 week to 10 days, I keep getting loaded information about you are looking for a cheaper flight, you are looking for a best time, you are looking for a best hotel, you are looking for a best transport. It's all AI application. It just picks up a small your need
absolutely.
and then gives. This is a very preliminary basic AI.
Yeah,
But today we are talking of human decisions in corporations, which will deal with so many aspects of life. I strongly believe today our technology base, technology or competence in AI technology has gone up phenomenally in terms of capturing the data and interpreting it and making it available to you to improve your quality of decision making. That is the contribution of AI.
absolutely.
It is interpreting. It's interpreting. I can give many examples of how even a simple thing like ChatGPT I started using. I posed an interesting question in ChatGPT the other day. Uday Parikh has worked on extension motivation. I defined extension motivation and defined role efficacy, defined something else. And Vijay Govindarajan from Tuck University is talking of three box theory. He is also talking of fusion theory, which has nothing to do with HR, which are really strategic management. Can you give me, combine all these and give me a solution of managing people?
Yeah,
Some very interesting insights came from that.
absolutely.
Nobody would have even thought of asking this question. You have to ask the right kind of questions. It's not that one can say it's all kachra, because how will you combine fusion theory with extension motivation? It is possible to combine because
Absolutely.
it's possible. AI does that. Nobody even thought of this kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So AI has that power, and it becomes a great tool for HR people.
Yeah.
But I think, as you have rightly cautioned in your own asking the question, our database has not developed to a level where our HR people are. I wish every one of them is a good psychologist of capturing the various dimensions, multifaceted dimensions of human beings, and are able to feed into the computer so that your quality of decision making improves. Because AI operates by and large on the principle of GI/GO. But a little better than that. It is not only, even if you put garbage, it tries to make some sense out of it. It doesn't give you garbage, but it gives you intelligent garbage, I suppose. But if your inputs are going to be improved, that's where my disappointment with HR is they are not doing enough research. We
Absolutely.
have not asked why are we still depending upon Abraham Maslow.
Yeah.
We still have to go. I said, you don't need 5 levels
Levels
of
of, yeah.
theory. I said, today everyone is looking for identity.
Yeah.
That's a super need. You have to.
Absolutely.
So I think our HR guys need to spend a lot of time doing basic research on human beings. And the moment you feed that data, your AI can simply bring sea change in management of human resources. But I'm sure with all your AI expertise, where you are multiplying I think capabilities and things like that. It's a matter of time. Maybe in a few years, 2, 3 years,
Absolutely.
people will be able to improve the quality of data because the moment your predictability goes down, actually what is AI? It should help you to predict whether my recruitment is fine, my performance appraisals are fine, employee engagement scores are fine, all those kind of things. And the moment you find your prediction can be improved by 10% more, your quality of data improves. You start
Absolutely.
looking for quality of data.
Absolutely.
So it's a cyclical process. I think it's a matter of time. AI is going to change the way we are going to manage human resources. This is my
Absolutely.
faith.
Absolutely. Very, very well articulated, sir. The two takeaway, which always I believed,
Yeah.
it reinforces my beliefs with your interaction. One is general intelligence of AI we already achieved.
Yes.
So like Maslow's theory, you ask, it will answer the application. So whatever in the internet, and it already learned, and we call it as general intelligence
Yes.
or generative intelligence. Super intelligence it has not achieved.
It's not yet achieved, right?
The reason for it's not achieved super intelligence, not that AI technology is not ready, but content is not there.
Yeah.
For example, when Peter Diamandis, who is a Singularity University founder, came to India, one of the things he advised Indians who attended the conference is India have a lot of rich content, whether it's HR or culinary cuisines or temple architecture.
Yes, yes,
But many of them are not in the internet for AI to learn.
yes.
It is analog, not in digital. For example, although you have published many books and white paper, and you have spoken in many forums, it's recorded and it's available in the internet. But still, I'm very sure the internet and these forums have captured less than 10% of what you know on HR.
Yeah, yeah.
Your case studies, and when we traveled in the car, he told many case studies of people. One book you have written of
Yeah.
leaders, a feature, something
Yes,
around that.
yeah.
So I always believe we whenever get time, it's I know it's stressful for you to get into conversation like this
Yes.
and capture this data
Yeah,
and give to AI to learn.
yeah.
So the Mantrika way, which I'm writing a book and a product, my aspiration is to interview 100 top HR professionals and business leaders
Yeah.
and ask them how did they take people decisions in hiring, promotion, whatever it may be,
Very good. Excellent.
and record it and put in my Mantrika AI engine to decode their algorithm they used it in that decisions.
That will be
So
a great service. Yeah.
great service.
Yeah.
So then it will create super intelligence in HR.
Yes. Yeah.
So Peter said, whenever you get time, please talk to your parents, grandparents who have phenomenal wisdom which they are not shared in LinkedIn or YouTube, but they have that wisdom. Capture that in stories and put in YouTube and other this one so that AI will learn it. So that's one of the things. So super intelligence in HR will take some time. All of us started doing research as you mentioned, and so also simply capturing the veterans in HR like you to talk about it and record it and put it in the AI algorithm to learn about it. It's a humongous opportunity, and I'm very excited. One of the work I want to do it is through Future of Work series. Ask leaders like you. Again, I'll call you for some time later with a very different topic, and I want to deep dive into the topic so that I can record it and tell my AI to learn from that and build an algorithm. So that's one of the things. I don't know what you think about
You
it.
touched a very important part of my thought. I exactly think the same way. We have done so much of work in India. I always said that Indian HR is different than the Western HR. I think it's almost 50 years since we started the first HRD department anywhere in the world. But nobody across the in country, people like you acknowledge. It's nice of you
Yeah.
to acknowledge that. But even within India, people don't acknowledge. I'm recently going through a few dissertations, doctoral dissertations of people. Uh, on anything you look at, less than 2 to 3% of references are from Indian authors.
Absolutely.
97% are outside. I looked at an old article by Uday Parikh, written in 1985, in his book Beyond Management. 95% of his quotations are Indian authors. That is the old
Yeah,
people we all respect. But the modern people, including IIMs and so on, they don't even acknowledge some of their own guides. That is the way it is. Now I'm coming back to this point that you are saying. How much wisdom Indians carry.
Absolutely.
I think if nothing, if you just look at our scriptures, put Gita into Bhagavad Gita into this, and then look at millions of people who got something out of it. Because people have different interpretations, and how it gave them peace, how it gave them decision-making power, etc. You can do the same thing for any religious scripture. You can take Bible,
Absolutely.
you can take Quran, whatever. I'm sure they all
Lot of
have. Or
learnings,
you
yeah.
take Vivekananda, you take analyze Sadguru Jaggi Vasudeva, or analyze Sri Sri. I think you will find phenomenal amount of. So I'm very happy that you are saying that this is one of the things you are trying to do. We wrote this book of 30 people, 30 leaders.
Leaders. Yeah.
We wanted to generate hundreds of such case studies. We trained 45 people in 2 batches and got them to write case studies. And some of them presented case studies which are amazing case studies. Suppose you have 1,000,000 case studies. I think India has, because everyone is a leader if you look at it.
Yeah.
So don't worry about million. You have
Yeah,
1 lakh case
absolutely.
studies. I think it just floods the entire universe with wisdom.
Absolutely.
It helps you to make better decisions because it is the Indian mind. Unfortunately, we have not captured Indian mind.
Yeah.
Until this Indian goes to US, works in a US university and gets a Nobel Prize or gets the top 50. We haven't even heard of.
Absolutely.
You only talk of C.K. Prahlad and you only talk of Vijay Govindarajan because they went abroad
Yeah.
very at a young age and then they became famous. But if you look at people who prefer to stay in this country, there's phenomenal wisdom. I'm glad you are doing this. I think interview people,
Absolutely.
including the older generation, look at the stories that they have. I think they will have phenomenal wisdom to be given. And I want to wish you all the best. I think this is a very great thing that you're doing.
Absolutely.
And that's a AI, great AI application.
Absolutely.
It'll change. It'll bring a sea
and the algorithm
change in
will
our
change.
nature.
The decision of hiring, promotions, everything will change.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
that's an algorithm we need to get it. So in the same context, in my 33 years in corporate life, I was blessed working for good companies like GE, Toyota, Philips, Britannia, EY, CSC, which merged with HP, DXC. So in some of the companies, I want to really acknowledge one of the leader, Mike Lowry in Computer Science Corporation.
Yeah.
He hired me and asked me to lead HR globally, along with my co-CHRO, Joe Mason. And he said, I want my CHRO, future CHRO should be in India.
Yeah.
He's a big believer of India.
Yeah.
And he said, you guys can come up with the next generation HR models and algorithm. I want that from India to come, not from New York, not from London, not from Europe. I want the next level CHRO, think, process, and innovation should come. Second, that's one. Another set of managers, you ask me, Sri, whatever ideas you're bringing as a global CHRO, first go and implement in India. Because you guys adopt change very fast. You are ready to experiment new ideas. And so, as you rightly said, one of the ambition I left early part of my professional corporate career to start something like this is really I want to give it back to HR.
Yes.
And next generation innovation in HR and best selling books in HR should come from India.
Yeah.
And as you rightly said, that is the biggest contribution we can make it. And future AI algorithms in HR data science should be highly influenced by Indian thought leaders. That's my aspiration when it comes to, and AI is a great engine to amplify that aspirations.
Very nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you very much. As you rightly said, we can keep going another 2-3 hours knowing your passion. So I just want to really shift gear a little bit in terms of data science in HR, because we have been talking about data science. I always believe the tangible data, we discussed tangible can be intangible one day, but tangible data, I call it as numerical, like the average salary, average age. All these are very easy to count, like 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 1 cannot be 11 in mathematical formula. But if you look at intangible assets like culture we discussed, leadership competence is intangible, or performance management is intangible. Nobody can, no tool in earth can capture performance of any leader. Potential assessment, you introduced potential assessment, I remember.
We try to make it tangible, but yes, it is still intangible.
Intangible. So with AI coming in, we can convert intangible assets into
more tangible
things.
Agreed.
Because the AI scope of work is, one is video.
Yeah.
For example, just now I'm coming from an assignment, I'm advising a manufacturing company. How can we do video to check the standard operating procedures followed? Then audit whether what's the gap between SOP and employee performance, using the same image to improve standard operating procedures for better productivity, quality and everything. Earlier, everything is done through industrial engineers' naked eye. Yeah. Today, a camera kept in the factory or a drone running across the factory can capture the data, and we can annotate it, and it can take decisions and improve exponentially 10 times, not 10%, not Kaizen.
Yes.
Breakthrough innovation, it can do it.
Yes.
Similarly, the video take a record of the audio of a machine, the sound, and convert into predictive maintenance data.
Okay.
Only look at the noise or the sound of a machine. There's a Chinese company, which I read it in exponential training program, which I attended, which I do as a master trainer. There's a Chinese company which is largest second car sales company. They use close to 20 plus algorithm or KPIs to buy and sell. These are all based on the engine sound and things like that.
Okay.
And it's so transparent, and that's the reason the company has grown.
Very
so
good,
coming back into HR, I believe a lot of tangible assets in HR, like we discussed some of things. Skills is also intangible assets. You cannot measure anybody's skills with 100% accuracy, although we try to do certain things. With AI coming in, we can measure it,
make them tangible, more
tangible, because of video analytics, audio analytics, text analytics and everything it's going to be. And it can create exponential value, not incremental value, not 10% improvement. We are doing a lot of projects in HR. We are helping our clients to impact 10%. One of the project the CHRO given to us is, today average time to join recruit is 90 days. Can you do it in 9 days?
Yeah.
The immediate answer is, the notice period itself is 60 days. How can I make it to 9 days? I said, don't worry.
Yeah.
Solve it.
It can be done. Yeah.
It can be done. We call moonshot ideas. That's a moonshot idea. 10 times we are reducing, which is considered as impossible, become possible today with the AI. We can talk other day. So coming back into what is your, you addressed in bits and pieces in all these things. Any other thoughts you had? How do you really use, you have done a lot of work on intangible assets. If you look at the HRD, is all about,
we call them as intellectual
capital. You have done.
Yeah.
And I think AI coming in, I think we should work jointly.
Oh yes.
How can we capture that and exponentially do that? Any thoughts which we missed to address earlier, sir?
Yeah. First of all, I see the possibility of painting as very high.
Yeah.
A lot of intangibles can be converted into tangibles.
Yeah.
Like employee engagement.
Yeah.
How are you going to measure it? I think it can be made very tangible. Today, you only circulate a questionnaire
Survey message.
and ask people to, but actually, with using videos, using work output, using various analysis,
Absolutely.
you will go in depth, including, I think, studying the physical movements of the person, his output, and the quality of products that he's making, and customer link it to customer satisfaction, link it to repeat customer. All kinds of things are possible, I am assuming.
Yeah.
So it's all possible to make more and more intangibles into tangibles. That I have absolutely no issue at all. Only one apprehension I have, and this I think needs to be addressed across the globe. Where will all this lead organizations and the world into? If all this is going to read, number one, reduce manpower, then therefore companies increase their profitability, and therefore make a few people more wealthier, but make many other people poorer. This is a ethical, and this is a larger kind of an issue. So I am now reframing the question. How do you use AI to reduce poverty across the globe?
Absolutely.
I think this is a value question. So you do enough research in terms of making productivity higher. You should do all of it, because
Yeah.
if productivity is up, if few people can do the job, they get better salaries, then they are happy. But it should not be at the cost of a large number of other people whom you are going to. I'm referring to recent newspaper items where I think X company has gotten rid of 15,000 people, 20,000 people, and so on. I think AI effort also should be made on alternative sources of employment, ways of reskilling, ways of reducing poverty, ways of reaching out to people. Uh, for example, you just look at, I normally don't talk of politics, and what I'm talking is actually not politics. It may sound like politics. Bihar. I'm not talking of elections. If you want to reduce poverty in Bihar, can AI come up with mechanisms by which a large number of people can be upskilled in XYZ kind of things, so that they don't have to migrate from Bihar? This is one of the things people will
Absolutely.
say. So, can AI be directed towards making a larger number of people happier, rather than only making a few people happy, more happier than now? This is a larger ethical as well as a strategic issue for AI. Only unfortunate thing is, at this point of time, we are passing through AI's period where it has the potential of generating a lot of negativity. But if they simultaneously address larger societal issues, you show in one poor district, as a result of AI application, so many people have been brought out of poverty. I think you are totally in a different game.
Absolutely, sir. I think.
I think that is where you,
Yeah.
if a part of your time, if you can spend, it's possible to do that. Let me mention something here.
Yeah.
Uday Parikh, in 1965, wrote an article where he said development is equal to achievement motivation multiplied by extension motivation, the desire to help others, minus dependence motivation. Now I'll convert this into an AI equation. How can AI help increase achievement motivation in rural areas, increase extension motivation in rural areas, and reduce dependence motivation? This is a question I pose for AI. I think it is possible for AI to solve this problem.
Absolutely.
Only thing is, they are only aiming at big corporates. That is my fear, that AI has to work at mass applications.
Absolutely. It's so.
But I don't know if you are thinking.
Absolutely. I'm thinking. I have goosebump listening to your conversation on this. Sir, one of the aspiration I had in terms of AI is exactly hit one part of it. Other part I'll cover. If you really look at Kathy Woods, who is the CEO of ARK Investors,
Yeah.
she invested in Elon Musk All Investment, and
Yes.
they only invest in exponential
Growth.
organization
Yes. Yeah.
and who use deep technology. So she has shown in one chart. If you look at last 100 years, the economy grew from, if you look at 0.13 to 3%. and it has gone through three industrial revolutions: steam engine, electricity, internet. Now we are getting into fourth industrial revolution with AI. So that's called fourth industrial revolution is AI. But 2014 we started, 24 we started fourth industrial revolution of AI. We have seen with the chat GPT coming in, OpenAI coming in, it become very pervasive and it's very. So they predict in 2024 to 2030, the GDP will grow from 3% to 7.3%.
Mm-hmm.
And she also talks about 5 converging technologies which will accelerate this growth. One of the converging technologies is next gen internet, then genomic revolution, robotics and mobility, then fintech, then space tech and defense, like that. And converging technology is today accelerated by AI. And she also said not one single discipline can solve today's problem. It has to be multidisciplinary or
Yeah.
multi-engineering technology should come and solve it. So in that same context, what technology is going to do it for human will dematerialize. For example, mobile phone, what we have, if I unbundle all the applications like camera, tape recorder, music player, compass, computer, or laptop, everything I have to unbundle. So everything is today converged. When NASA sent moon mission, the entire computing cost was 3.5 million US dollars. But today our mobile have 22 million times more computing power, but the cost is 30-40,000 rupees.
Yes.
And this is now available for every villages today. 600 million smartphones in India, which is the double the population of US. US population is 320 or 340 million. And this device, whether a street vendor have, even beggar in the street also show you, if you don't have cash, that okay, transfer through my GPA, they'll ask you to scan and transfer. Everybody has this. But one of the challenges for India, how do you make use of this computing power where every villages have to do a startup ecosystem or use to learn exponentially is possible today. That's my one of the aspiration. How do you get that teaching to villages use smartphone today for only WhatsApp or watching video? How do you teach them how to use this computing power to learn and develop skills? That is one. Second one is in Singularity University conferences. And Singularity believes in impacting billion lives. That's there. And 10 the power of 9 is a billion life you need to impact, which I was very, very influenced by that statement. And they say that the technology should be used for really solve poverty and lot of malnutrition, lot of other things we have going through in India. And second one, technology should be, AI should be used for inner healing. Within next 10 years, most of the cancer can be curated. You can replace your kidney, liver and everything with the stem cell cultivation. That technology is coming. But nobody has to, your inner pain, which is psychological in nature, of loneliness, people not really helping you, how do you solve with this technology? So answer is very, your question is, challenge is very profound, sir.
Yeah.
I think we can collectively come and solve the poverty, malnutrition, lot of and inner suffering all of us are going through can be solved with AI. I'm very optimistic on this. Maybe TVRL Academy, as well as Visara and Communios organization, which I'm heading, to come together and do a one-day conference, getting thought leaders asking the same questions and trigger that conversation. We are talking about how AI can be used in screening, selection, but that's a challenge. We need to give it to thought leaders and students to come back on this. I'm with you. And these are $1,000,000 questions. We require moonshot ideas.
Yeah.
And technology can solve that.
No, I think it is possible, Sri. I have no, in terms of the capability of AI, capability of our people. But only thing I'm trying to do is to direct the attention of people on where to apply these technologies. Where they are applying today is fine, because that is what is giving you bread and butter and making you millionaires. But where I think the world needs is, I think you have rightly said, how can there be inner healing? Why should this healing be limited to only upper middle class, or should it go to poor people? The question that comes to my mind is, if, let us say, political parties are giving X amount of money, like I think recently it is said 10,000 rupees is being given to every woman and that is how somebody has won the elections. Forget about winning the election. The question is, you have given 10,000 rupees to a lakh of women. So, who of these women have been able to make use of it? In what way they have? AI has a phenomenal amount of potential if you get
Absolutely.
into this, and that is where out of 1 lakh you find 1,000 people who made better use of it and has changed their lives. Make this available to the rest of the 99,000 people, and that is the multiplication that you are talking of. So our district collectors or district, so many education officers, health officers, or block level officers. I think if you come up with the technology,
Absolutely.
I think your scope for multiplying and helping the country is going to be phenomenally high. I'm sure the government can fund it if you get into this. So, but today I don't know how much. I mean, there is a capability commission in India who are working on it, but I think they are still limiting on higher level kind of people. So I find AI technologies are wonderful. So when you apply where it is possible, now that is the way when management started, when IIM started, they were started more as a business management schools. But today they are applying everywhere for health, for
Yeah.
education, and so on.
Absolutely.
Same way, I think all this great work that you people are trying to do, I think the sooner it can go into the district level to the government, I think that will be the sea change for this. And the government is very positive
Absolutely.
today. I am very, every state
Yeah.
government, central government, they are highly, now today we have in our country, we are technology driven. That is how every village are having a mobile access is a great asset we have. And
Absolutely.
AI can totally
Change that.
transform the
Yeah.
entire society.
So,
And that is the hope I have.
absolutely, sir. That's a $1 million question, and we
Yeah.
need to get all our intellectual leaders, especially in HR or HRD, human resource development, whether it's central government, state government, universities, thought
All
leaders
of
like
them,
you.
yes, absolutely.
All of us need to come together. And last comment before go to the last question is, sir, I always believe we cannot AI use in automation and try to solve yesterday's problem.
Yeah.
AI should be used to solve tomorrow's opportunities,
Yes, yes, absolutely. I
and that
agree.
will create exponential impact, not linear 10%.
Yes.
It will create 10 times impact to the society. That's what I'm very, very high. Whichever consulting I do to my clients, I always says, don't automate your HR process with AI. You are accelerating the death of the organization.
Yeah.
Don't try to solve yesterday's problem with AI.
Yeah.
Solve future opportunities with AI. That's a very, very important things. So the last question, sir.
So that's a very interesting concept
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
promoting. I hope you promote it very
Absolutely. Yeah,
vehemently.
yeah. That's our
Yes.
efforts, sir.
Yeah.
Then coming back into the last question, which I know we can talk hours together, but I want to, the two questions are merging into one. One is we are going through huge disruption today.
Yeah.
The VUCA concept is gone away. Now we call Bani.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And in Bani, the N stands for non-linear growth,
Yeah.
not linear growth.
Yes.
So if you really look at, since we are going through disruption, the skill set is not a very important. It's important, but it's not a differentiator, because we are dealing with the unpredictable situations and non-linear growth. More than skill set, what is required is the mindset. We discussed a little bit when we in the car.
I agree. Yeah.
So Singularity University, which we are part of it, we believe in 5 mindset, like purposeful mindset, exponential mindset, moonshot mindset, longevity mindset, and abundance mindset. Everybody is today scared and feared, and they are thinking we are living in a scarcity world, but we are living in the most abundant world. You don't see it, and you don't know how to monetize it.
Yeah.
So that mindset importance. The last one, which I always tell to my team, HR is a noble profession,
Yes,
like
yes,
teachers
absolutely.
and doctors. The nobility comes from your ability to impact lives.
Of
Like
people.
being a teacher, you get more respect for
Yeah.
your
Sure,
teaching,
yeah.
not more than a consulting, isn't it? You have seen that. All of us are your followers
Yes.
and sikshas, or we consider you as
Yes.
you are as a guru. So HR is a noble profession. When I give an offer letter to a candidate, I feel I'm doing Lakshmi's act, Goddess Lakshmi's act, by giving job to somebody. Whenever I train somebody, I feel I'm doing Goddess Saraswati's act of imparting knowledge. And whenever I help somebody to execute, I believe I'm doing Lord Parvati's act of execution. So once you get that nobility in HR profession and our professionals understand they are working for a noble cause and there is a purpose behind it, their learning curve enhances, their contribution doubles. So the mindset and the nobility of HR profession, from your thought, I know you can talk hours together, and
Yeah,
so
sure.
just to reinforce for our listeners how important is the mindset and nobility of the profession which we are into.
Yeah, first of all, I'm totally with you. I think, in fact, I keep saying that HR is not the job of HR people alone.
Yeah,
When people call me father of HR, I jokingly tell them I have 3 children, none of them is HR. They are different names,
yeah,
you know them. So don't call me father of HR. You are yourself your father, your father of your HR. Every human being should take charge of. Then people ask me, then why are we HR fellows needed? So you a $1 million question. You have a bigger job today than earlier.
yeah,
You have to make everyone take charge of his HR. That's the mindset.
absolutely.
Create the mindset in everyone so that everyone is a constant learner. Learn from other people, learn from each other, learn from one's own reflection, and use the learning to make a difference in the lives of others. This is what I have
Absolutely.
talked of in my book on effective people and so on. So I strongly agree with you. There is a need for creating the so-called Uday Parikh, if I have to borrow his term, extension mindset. You are here so that you are able to help other people using your talent to make a difference in their lives.
Absolutely.
So I think the moment you have that mindset, very interesting, Sri, much before HR management schools and HR institutes came into existence, there used to be schools of social work which produced the HR people. Those days we didn't call them HR, we called them welfare
Even I am
officers.
also MSW.
Welfare officers, we call them. They are the ones who taught mental health, physical health, employee. But with all good intentions, when we introduced HR, this HRD became elitistic and spoiled those schools of social work also.
Absolutely.
So HR now means performance appraisal, compensation, competency mapping, and things like that.
Productivity
This is very
improvements.
unfortunate. That is right, that is required. But the basic mindset of social work, now today we are back to that. But
Absolutely.
we are not using the term maybe social work. I am using the term extension motivation. I think this mindset of constantly growing, helping others to grow, and the possibility, I think we use it a term of abundance. We are existing in a term of,
Abundance. It's not
there is enough
scarcity.
of it. I like what Mahatma Gandhi said, there is enough available on this earth to meet the needs of everyone,
Absolutely.
but not the greed of a few. So that is the major thing that we have to
Beautifully summarized, sir.
put it. So I agree that if you are chosen to be a HR professional, it's a God-sent opportunity for you,
Yeah.
because they gave you this designation which is meant to serve people.
Absolutely.
Don't serve yourself.
Yeah.
That is what I think is the. I think mindset change is phenomenally
Absolutely.
required.
So to sum up, sir, I always believe inspiration from you and other thought leaders. HR is a noble profession. It's an honor and
Yes.
privilege to lead others.
Right.
So absolutely, I consider as one of the differentiator of the future of the work, and the future of the work for the world will be defined from India. That's my aspiration, by decoding wisdom of people like you into an algorithm of AI. That's what my series
Very
is
good.
all about. And
Very
thank you
nice.
very much.
Very nice. I would like to see, with all the great efforts that you are doing,
Yeah,
AI being used to multiply this mindset in HR people, so that we have abundant HR people who can change the world.
absolutely. Thank you.
I hope that happens.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Very much.
you.